Gotta say, I'm a little disappointed in you guys. I haven't seen, at least I haven't seen it. Maybe it's happened, but I haven't seen it. Not one time, not one comment have you guys said, well, you're willing to abuse all these other companies' knives. Why don't you abuse your own knife design? Not one time. Just letting you guys know, I'm disappointed in you. Bang, Neves Knives, I'm Jared. Today, I am doing the full review and testing on my knife design with We Knife Co., the Inmate. Now, the Inmate's going to drop at Blade Show Atlanta, June 6th through the 8th. If you're going to Blade Show Atlanta and you want to get an Inmate, I will be at the booth every day at 2 p.m. So if you want to meet me, take pictures, hang out, whatever, I'll be there 2 p.m. each day. Otherwise, I'll be running around the show. So if you see me, come up and say hi. Please don't worry about what I'm doing. Please come up and say hi. Now, if you are going to get one of these, and you can get it anytime, you don't have to wait for me to be there at the booth. I'm just saying that I'll be there at 2 p.m. each day. But if you are going to get one, you will get a free t-shirt that I designed as well with your purchase. Now, if you wait until it comes to the site, which will be at the end of June, like June 24th, June 26th, right around there. So, if you don't make it to Blade Show, you can still get it from the dealers or the We Knife Co. site. I think it's June 26th or something like that. Just later on in the month. You're not going to be able to get the t-shirt, but you'll be able to get a badass knife. And I will say, my goodness, am I impressed with this knife. I know I'm biased, but this knife was designed for cutting performance, and boy, is it a slicer. Utility cuts are super easy. Slicing with these ergonomics is it's phenomenal. Then you get down to the action, this amazing hole deployment and front flipper. It is an ultimate user, in my opinion, for knife guys. So hopefully you guys are able to get your hands on one, and I'm pretty sure you're going to love it just as much as I do. Let's check out all the testing it went through.
Hello, why do they doubt the kid? I'm about to prove them all wrong again. I got a low tolerance, cause they don't even know what the problem is. It's me. You waiting on the boy to fail, now hold your breath and face your death. Cause you play a roulette with each step I progress, no less. Go ahead and place your bets, cause we know where we at, we know we top tier. Cause all the hate that you bring, we know it stops here. I'm taking off like a rocket here and stopping here. It's strange how they cannot see the future but see profit here. Wait up, we gon' always win. Promise that that's not a promise, yeah, that is a threat. You know that I promise to bring the T-commas. When the whole team win, that's when you flex. Win, and I'ma do it again. Watch me win, then watch me do it again. Tell them I can't take no loss. My team hold no L's, no. Aiming for the top, can't make it by myself. I ain't taking no loss. I ain't taking no loss. Look, I'ma always win. I ain't taking no loss. Look, I'ma always win. We already know that we the coldest. Watch me heat it up, let me focus. I'm going toe to toe with foes. I know they notice. I kick in doors, they only hope for closing time. Cause they know I go again and go again. And when they get it right, I'm the one that can make you flow again. Talk to me nice, my team they ready to go again. Running into us, we'll gladly send you home again. Yo, we don't talk, better know the grind, gon' match my walk. I'm a cheat code, I don't take no loss.
We Knife Co. Inmate. Chucking it. Oh, I think I chucked that one harder than the others. Alright. Woo, that was bad. That one was bad. I don't want to hit a little kid walking by or something, though. Be just my luck. Oh. It is a little harder to do it to your own, I'll be honest. But gotta do it. Ooh, I think that was the tallest one we've ever thrown right there. 12 feet, maybe 15. Yeah. Oh, at least 12 there. I'm 6 foot. Nothing. I do not expect this to survive batoning, but so I do expect it to fail. However, I also know that if I hit the tip of it, it's most likely to fail. But if I hit more back here, it's less likely. And if I'm putting pressure, letting the blade kind of go up, there it goes. See that fail? It'll fail if I hit the tip, but as it should. Typically when you do a frame lock like this, you disengage it like that, so there's no stress on the lock. But we were trying to put a little stress on the lock. This is a knotted piece. I'm gonna grab a different one. That one's, yeah, let's just try something a little bit lighter duty. Let's just do the edge of this one. Yeah, it keeps failing, as it should. If I hit back here though, ooh, it got right in that knot. I'm not gonna go through that. I'm surprised it's actually still locked up solid though. I don't know if this one even throws. Yes, it does. So after all the abuse, I'm actually surprised how little the edge chipped. It did chip all the hell all up in here. So this must be where it took the most damage. I was throwing it very hard against the concrete. Normally I try to kind of frisbee it across so it more skips. But there was a couple throws where it because I was, I figured, I have to go a little bit extra on mine just because, otherwise it'll look like I'm not. Like if I look like I'm trying to, be easy on it. And I think that made me throw it a little bit harder and more aggressively than I should have probably, as it's taken a significant amount of damage with everything. Like it's got, look, you can see the edges, which you can kind of expect, but look at the pivot. It is just destroyed. Now, I can still unscrew it. The inside of it's still fine. You got the damage all around there. You got little sprinkles of scratches all over. You still got that nice little, I don't know what you call it, chameleon color inside the rain, which is cool. The blade, like I said, the blade, it's got a burr all the way up and down. So it's definitely been, it's slid across and got everything. But right here is where it got all chipped. But it still kind of cuts paper, except for right here, like where it's all really chipped. So that really shows you that cutting paper doesn't show you much, because this absolutely has a burr from heel to tip, 100%. Like I dragged it across the diamond plate or something. But regardless, it's time to put a new edge on it to bring it back to life. I have already done a lot of videos with cutting and sharpening and this and that. It's had like 5 edges on it, but we're going to start off with sharpening it, and we'll clean it up, and then we'll get to the conclusion and how it held up and the damages it seriously took. This is a stone from PDT Tools from USA Market. It is a metal bonded metal bonded CBN stone, about 160 grit. These are very expensive stones. I would say you can get the same results from this from an Atoma diamond plate, which would be much more affordable. This is just something that's going to last for years and years longer than an Atoma. So, it's more you save money in the long run, but if you want to save money now, the Atomas are the way to go. And you'll get an Atoma to last you a couple years, just depending on how much you sharpen. Technically, the edge is sharpened. I could deburr right now, but I am going to work my way through a few more stones. But just to show you how quickly this thing reprofiled. These stone holders are available on the Neves Knife Co. site. They're really easy to use. It's plastic. You can take these off for different stones, but it's plastic, so you don't have to worry about rust or anything like that. This is a 400 grit Atoma. This is also something we have on the site, on the Neves Knife Co. site. If you see them out of stock, they'll be in stock soon. We always order more. And we also have the replacement sheets on there, so you don't have to continue to buy the plates, and you can save money just by peeling this top layer off and replacing it, because it's got a little thin layer right there. As you can see, you can remove that, and it's really sticky. So you pull that off and then just replace it. But you can see here how fast this thing sharpens up, and the reason why is because it's so thin behind the edge. When you have a knife that's as thin as this behind the edge, it's going to sharpen up extremely fast, especially after you've already sharpened it one time. So the first time you sharpen it is probably going to be your longest sharpening, because you're reprofiling it to the angle you want. But once you got it set to the angle you want, like I do, every sharpening after that is going to go just incredibly fast. Like that was my 400 grit stone. Now I move to the next one. So now we move to a 600 grit. Also, this is a very easy blade shape to sharpen. Spear point blades, it's a lot of flats. You just pull it across and then lift your elbow up to the tip. It doesn't have a very high tip, so it's something that you can very easily get to. You don't have to raise it up too high or anything. Now we're going to jump to the 1200. Now over 1200 grit, if I wanted to stick with diamonds and go to a finer grit, I would go to a bonded stone, most likely, or some sort of bonded stone that was made with diamond or CBN. You can do this with a ceramic, pretty much with any fine grit stone that's going to be 3K or over. You can even do, like a 1200 grit if you have a really toothy edge. So I'm just fatiguing the burr back and forth, letting it pop off in this direction, which I find leads to really good results. And then I'm going to do some forward pass. Now I don't want to go too crazy, because if I add pressure on this stone, it will start polishing it, because I'm at 1200 grit here. This is a 3000, so this can easily polish this. Maybe we should just polish it. It's coming out really nice though. Like the burr's already gone. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm leaving it. That is so damn sharp. And then we have my 1/2 micron stroppy stuff. Best stropping compound, diamond emulsion. We don't have any strops on the site right now. We do have the stropping compound, but soon I'm going to make some strops and have them on the site. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Wow. 20 CV, man. I'm telling you, when it's done well and you get into the good steel, and my goodness, does it just get so damn crispy. That's beautiful. And I can see, even though I was using very light pressure, I can see it started trying to polish the edge. So we have a little bit of polishing, and then some nice serrations right at the apex. That's really cool. Let's see how she cuts now. Woo! That was my fault. Let me move this so I don't. take a close look at it. As I said, you can see where it started polishing the edge. Started trying to, especially on this side. Some of those scratches are basically turned into a mirror. But it actually came out really nice. I used to do this edge where I would put a toothy edge on. And then I would go, I would mirror polish the edge. Sorry, I'd mirror polish the edge. And then do just a few passes on like a 1200 or a 600 and just get some serrations on there. But in between each serration, it basically had a polish. And my goodness, did those edges come out stupid sharp. So my conclusions. One, this is still a prototype. I'm hoping the production models show up before Blade Show so that I can show them to you guys and make a video about the production ones that are going to be available, you know, and post a video before Blade Show. But don't forget, 2 p.m. every day at Blade Show. If you're going, I will be there to, you know, to hand you the knife, shake your hand, you know, and whatever, take pictures, you know, and stuff like that, sign the boxes, whatever you guys would like. So just don't forget that if you're wanting to buy one, 2 p.m. each day, I'll be there. The first day I might also be there, you know, a little bit earlier. Not 100% on that, but the conclusions from this thing. So one, it does have, as far as, let's go negatives, right? It does have some significant detent lash. However, it had a little, because remember, this is a prototype, right? And this is the first prototype, and I've had this for like a year and been beating the hell out. I've carried this, I couldn't tell you how many times, and it's had a little tiny bit of detent lash since I got it. So, you know, just because it was a prototype. But it got worse. It definitely got worse, but I kind of expect it, you know, from it banging around the way I threw it around. Next thing, you know, as far as negatives, man, there's not a lot of negatives here, I'll be honest. I'm very impressed with it. The biggest thing was the detent lash, the geometry, the choil, the plunge grind, all of that is just amazing. You know, you can see I did not hit the plunge grind at all. The ergonomics are just hand-meltingly good. I designed this to be an all-around great user for everybody. I know it's a 3.5-inch blade, so it might be a little bit long for some people, but as far as having a knife that's going to be super useful, whether you want to use the belly, utility cuts, slicing, you know, pulling towards you, it doesn't matter. This thing does good with everything. It really does. It's a very, very versatile knife. And because of the ergonomics, it makes it where it's just amazing to use. And that's why, another reason why I carried it. I didn't just carry it because it's my design. I carried it because it works so damn good. And I truly mean that. I think this is going to be one of the best users I've designed yet. Because 100 thousandths blade stock thickness. Let's see where it's at behind the edge after all the sharpenings I've done. It is still, what? There's no way. Only 15 thousandths behind the edge after being sharpened like, I don't even know, 10 or so times. I'm probably more than that. I don't know. I've just sharpened it a lot. But let's say even if that was 8 edges, that's really good. So very happy with the geometry, super thin with 100 thou blade stock thickness. With this type of ergonomics, this thing just blazes through stuff. And I personally love the blade shape. It is a spear point with a hole deployment. So if the hole wasn't there, it would be just a regular spear point, which is one of my favorite blade shapes. So that is, you know, something that I love because of its versatility and being able to do everything, whether it's self-defense or just general use. You know, again, the ergonomics with this handle, the way it's shaped, it's designed to go right into the palm like that. You know, and then the choke up, you're never going to catch on anything because you're right there at the edge. The access to the lock bar is freaking amazing. It's super smooth. The detent has always been amazing on this thing and still is, so I'm so happy with it. This is one of the best reverse flickers because of the leverage you have on the hole where it's aiming at. Like you see, it's just like the perfect size hole for thumb flicks or reverse flicks. Like it's a very satisfying hole deployment, but you also still have the front flipper, which works really, really well. It has nice jimping on it, the type of jimping I like. It goes all the way around. You can put your finger right there on the peak and it grips you. But the primary deployment is the hole deployment. But that front flipper works great. Clip, super smooth in and out of the pocket. I put the lock bar cut out on the inside so it didn't interrupt the clip, and the clip is awesome. T8 hardware all the way around. Yeah, I'll just wait till you guys see the production ones, but I'm going to say, all in all, to have detent lash after it's all said and done, some scuffs, some bruises, exactly what I expect, you know, especially from what I was doing. This is really good. And I got to say, after all the batoning and stuff, yes, it failed during some batoning. I expect that. But here is what I hope doesn't go wrong is the lockup, right? Because if the lock bar moves out of the way, right, and does allow it to fail under a significant load or a significant amount of energy, then it either, one, can crack the lock bar, or two, slide it out of the way so that your knife still works. Because if it cracks, it's done, right? This one did very well. There is absolutely no up and down, no side to side. It is not even no flex in the lock bar. Now you can see it's locked up really good, but man, that's from being squeezed and, you know, all the use I've put on it. You know, and also another thing I want to make this clear about thin blades. When you get a very thin blade, you don't want a 10% lockup like you would on something that's like 150 thousandths thick. This is, you know, like when it's like that on that little bit, because it's so thin, you want it to have a somewhat of a strong lockup when it's a very thin blade. Doesn't mean it's going to wear out or anything like that. Like I said, I've put probably 5 years of use on this thing in 1 year, maybe more. Now, somebody who carries their knife every single day, all day, every day, you know, the same exact knife, I feel like that's basically what this simulates. But I'm very impressed, very happy that we did this, that I did this with We Knife Co. They've been absolutely awesome the whole way through. They've made it so easy and fun, and I'm happy to do some more designs with them, because they killed this. And this 20 CV is phenomenal. I'm very impressed with that. I am still so shocked it didn't just rip chunks out of it, because you're talking, you know, it's so thin behind the edge, you know, you would think that there would just be chunks blown out from, you know, bouncing across concrete, but nope. The drop on it is still super duper smooth. No issues with that. Centering, let's look at that. Centering is off a little bit, but okay, I do think the blade, or near the tip, might have bent just a little bit. You can probably see it there. It's very subtle. I didn't even notice it until I looked at the centering and then tried to get it centered. And it's close to it, but again, man, for this thing, it was getting batoned and stuff. So, and it's such a thin blade. This is the exact opposite of a knife that you'd baton with. Exact opposite. I was expecting the blade to break, like right here. I expected this to just blow out. I really did. I expected this thing to fail 100%, but it didn't. You know, I mean, the lock failed, but I mean, the blade didn't, which is shocking to me. So, yeah, I mean, that little tiny bend, I could probably straighten it out. I'm not worried about it. I'm going to leave it just the way it is. It's very subtle, and it still works just the same. So I don't notice it through any use or anything. But there you guys go, man. Work hard, stay tough. Till next time, peace.